Hi, welcome to the channel Too Irrational. I'm Pranay Sharma, and in this video we are going to solve CM1 paper B conducted by IFoA Institute in April 2023. We are going to go through the detailed explanation of each question, but if you want the solution sheet, I will leave the number in the description below where you should WhatsApp, Telegram or message your email ID and ask for the solution sheets of CM1 papers. Without further ado, let's get started. Question number 1. A company wishes to invest in a fleet of 50 vehicles for use by its workforce and will choose between two alternative vehicles for the entire fleet: an electric vehicle or a traditional internal combustion engine car. The electric vehicles incur a higher initial cost than the internal combustion engine cars, but have lower running cost and maintenance cost. Worksheet question 1 base gives details of the cost involved for the type of vehicles. The company intends to run the fleet for a period of 5 years. It anticipates that the average annual mileage for each vehicle type will be 20,000 miles, spread uniformly over each year. Calculate for each vehicle type the present value of the total cost to the company of buying and running the fleet. You should use the risk discount rate of 4.5% per annum. Let's see question 1 base. Here they have given us initial cost, running cost per mile, annual maintenance cost and government taxes. So accordingly, we will make our answers here in part 1 and 2. A few things that we'll require, I'll write it down here. We'll require V, then we'll require A bar 1 because the miles are distributed uniformly over the year. As you can see here, government taxes are payable at the start of each month. We'll require A due 1 payable 12 times. Now let's make the title for both of these, electric vehicle as well as the internal combustion engine vehicles. So first, initial cost, that would be at the beginning of the first year, and we have 30,000 payable at the outset. This is all per vehicle cost. So 30,000 into 50 vehicles. Then per mile cost, they have said is 0.15 and increasing by 4% annually. The first increase at the start of the second year. So the running cost, according to that, when they say 20,000 per year but distributed uniformly throughout the year, we'll use A bar 1 for that. So we'll have per mile cost into 50 vehicles into 20,000 into this A bar 1. I'll fix it. This becomes our running cost. Maintenance cost is 500 per payable at the end of each year, increasing by 25 per year from the second payment onwards. So maintenance cost, we'll have 500 for 50 vehicles, but this is at the end of the year, so I need to discount it to go to the beginning of the year. And for the next one, I'll say previous value plus 25 into 50 into, again, discounting factor to bring it to the beginning of the year. Then taxes, they are saying 50 per vehicle payable at the start of each month, fixed cost. So we'll have 50 into 12, that becomes the annual value, into 50 vehicles into A due 1 payable 12 times, and I'll fix it. That is our tax value. So total cost, I'll have initial plus running cost plus maintenance plus taxes. Then discounting factor according to 4.5%. These are all at the beginning of the year. So first year would be just 1. Then I'll have previous year into bracket 1 plus, or I can just multiply V, fix it. This becomes my discounting factor. For present value, we'll just take the total cost into the discounting factor and then add them up. Now let's do the same thing with electric vehicle. So initial cost of electric vehicle is 45,000. 45,000 into 50 cars. Then per mile cost is 0.04. That is for each years. Then running cost would be 50 cars, 20,000 miles per cost, and into, we'll have A bar 1, fix it. Maintenance is 150 payable midway through the year, increasing by 5% each year from the second payment. So 150 into 50 cars into, we'll have discounting factor raised to, first I'll fix this discounting factor, fix raised to 0.5. And for the next year, we'll have 5% more. So this much into 1.05. So because it was midway through the year, we have discounted it for half year to bring it to the beginning of the year. Okay. And no government taxes. So taxes is 0. Total cost. Then discounting factor will be same, so I can just take it from here. And present value would be total cost into discounting factor. So this is the present value. I'll write it down here. I'll also calculate the difference for commenting. Second part, they are saying recommend with reason the most suitable type of vehicle for the fleet based on your answer in part 1. I have written electric vehicle should be selected based on the present value. There will be an overall profit of 14,823.56. Point, I have missed the point. The company wishes to consider how it estimates the annual mileage per car would impact its decision on which vehicle type to choose for the fleet. Determine the annual average mileage per car which would result in the same cost in the present value terms for each fleet. So we have to determine how much miles should the car run per year so that the annual the present values are equal. So I'll copy all of this from here and paste it in the third part. Few things I'll have to change. That is right here, mileage. Mileage is 20,000 and I have not used the mileage part here in the running cost. So I'll have to, instead of 20,000, put this mileage and fix it. Same thing here. instead of 20,000, now mileage, fix it. Now we want the present values to be same, so this difference should be 0. So data, what if analysis, goal seek to the value 0 by changing this mileage. So the mileage should be 19,458.22. Okay, that's our answer. The next, the company has now proposed to run the fleet for a shorter period of 3 years and to take account of the sale proceeds of the vehicles at the end of this period when making its decision. It expects the residual value of the vehicles at the end of 3 years to be 40% of the original purchase price for internal combustion engine cars and 50% of for electric vehicles. Copy your question 1 part 1 and 2 worksheet to 1.4 worksheet and update your results and recommendations to take account the company's new proposal based on the annual mileage of 20,000 miles. So I'll copy from the first part, paste it in the fourth part. Few changes that we have to do. First is, now we are running only for 3 years, so I'll have to remove 4th and the 5th year. Then just before the total cost, insert a column for sale. So the sale will have negative 40% of this initial cost, so equal to minus 0.4 initial cost. Same thing here, sale equal to minus 0.5 of the initial cost, and I have to take that into account. Here in total I will edit to add up sale price. So now the difference is larger. So again we'll say electric vehicle should be selected based on the present value. There will be an overall profit of this much, and I'll also say there will be a larger overall profit. There will be a larger overall profit of this much. Then in last part, discuss the suitability of this model as a tool for helping the company select the fleet. So I've said, looking at the benefit to the environment, consideration of electric vehicle is a good step, but the cost of this change has to be taken into consideration. The model considered here is a good tool for this decision, although all cash flow considered should be realistic. The sale cost of the vehicle considered here might be higher than possible. Let's go to the second question. Question number 2. A life insurance company issues a 15-year unitized with profit contract to a policyholder currently age 50 exact. The basic policy information, charging structure, and the basis used by the company to carry out profit testing are all set out in question 2 base worksheet. The unit price increases each year in line with the company's declared bonus interest rate. You should ignore the non-unit reserves. Calculate the unit cash flow for each year of the policy per policy in force at the start of the year. So here in base, they have given us 2,000 premium per annum annually in advance, ceasing immediately on death or surrender. Death benefit, unit fund value paid at the end of year of death. Maturity benefit, unit fund value paid on maturity. So we are not paying anything extra on death or maturity. Surrender is only permitted at the end of the year. Surrender benefit is unit fund value less the surrender penalty. Surrender penalty is supposed to be 15% of the unit fund value. The policy ceases on the payment of benefit. Now for unit fund table, we'll need allocation rate, that is 70% of the premium in the first year and 100% thereafter. Policy fee is 1.2% of the bid value of the unit fund deducted at the end of the year by cancelling units, and we have bid offer spread of 2%. So here in the table they have directly written cost of allocation. That means we will take the allocation rate and bid offer spread here itself. You can make separate columns for it as well, that would be fine. So because the bid offer spread is 2%, the rest would be in the cost of allocation, and first year there's 70% of cost into the premium. Then from the second year we'll just deduct the bid offer spread, so 98% into the premium. Fund at the end of the year before deduction of the policy fee. So for first year, okay, first of all, what's the growth rate? Unit fund bonus rate is 3% per annum. So I'll have cost of allocation into 3%, so 1.03, and for the next year we'll have equal to cost of allocation plus fund at the end into 1.03. And policy fee was 1.2%. This value into 0.012, and fund at the end would be equal to fund before policy fee minus policy fee. So this is the unit fund table. For the second part, calculate the expected non-unit cash flow for each year of the policy per policy in force at the start of the year. So for that, in base, we have initial expense, renewal expense, as well as claim expense. Dependent surrender rates, percentage of all policies in force at the end of each year in line with the table on the right. So they have written here dependent rates of mortality and dependent rates of surrender. That means they have given AQXD. In the second part, we have a few things already made. We have interest, policy fee, okay. So premium minus cost of allocation, so equal to premium minus the cost of allocation. Then initial expense is said to be 300 and then 250 as renewal expense. So I'll write it as negative. Then interest earned on non-unit cash flow is 2.5%. This is the interest. We'll take the policy fee from unit fund. Then we'll not have any death cost, we'll not have any maturity cost, but we will definitely have some surrender profits. And we'll have claim expense and then profit vector. So surrender profit, we'll say it is 15% of the bid value is here, into probability of surrender Dependent probability is directly given. Then claim expense is said to be 400 on death, surrender or maturity. That means for the first 14 years it will happen on death and surrender, and last year for everything. So in last year I'll just have minus 400 because it is for all three cases, and here I'll have minus 400 into probability of death plus probability of surrender. Then profit vector would be sum of all of this is a non-unit fund table. And last part, calculate the present value of the profit from the policy at the outset. So they have already made the table for us. Profit vector is equal to, from here, probability in force for the first year it's 1, for the second year we'll say equal to previous value into, in bracket I'll have 1 minus dependent probability of death minus dependent probability of surrender. I keep on forgetting brackets, that is why it is showing that error. Then profit signature would be equal to profit vector into probability in force. Discounting factor, the risk discount rate was 6%. Write it here. Here we have the discounting factor, and expected present value would be profit signature into the discounting factor. Then add them up. So we have 136.14. Let's go to question number 3. So we have a company has a privately issued 3 fixed interest bond with the term of 10 years, 15 years and 25 years respectively. The bond offer different coupons which are paid half yearly. The first coupon to be paid in 6 months time. The coupon rate, redemption rate and the spot rates to use are set out in the worksheet question 3 base. Calculate the duration of each bond. So here they have given us the spot rates we are supposed to use in the first and the second part. Then annual coupon rate is different for each of those bonds. And coupons are paid half yearly with the first coupon due in 6 months time. Bonds are redeemable at par. So let's go to the first part. Okay, spot rates they have already given here. I'll make 3 different spaces for 10-year, 15-year and 25-year bond. And I need a discounting factor. Discounting factor. Then cash flow for the first 10-year bond, the coupon rate is 1.5% and it is payable half yearly. So every half yearly it would be 1.5 by 2 per 100 nominal. For 9.5, and then I'll just say it is 100 plus the last coupon. Present value, just take the cash flow into the discounting factor. Then this is the numerator of DMT, will be the present value into the time. Now the 15-year bond cash flow, we have 2.5% per annum. So again 2.5 divided by 2 according to, we'll go till 14.5, and last year I'll say equal to 100 plus the last coupon. Present value, cash flow into the discounting factor. Numerator would be present value into the time. For the last one, 1.75, and we are going for 25 years. So till 24.5, I'll have this cash flow. At 25, I'll say 100 plus the last coupon, and present value and numerator will be present value into the time. I'll add them up. And then duration, say bond, 10 year, 15 year, 5 year, duration is equal to numerator by present value. Same thing for all three. So the duration we are getting is 9.32 years, 12.729 years, and 20.15 years. Then the second part, explain why a 10-year bond with a coupon rate of 4% would have lower duration than a 10-year bond with a coupon rate of 2%. So for that I have written the proportion of the total amount in coupons is higher in 4% coupons than in 2% coupons. The coupon cash flow is distributed over 10 years and redemption is at time 10. Higher coupon rate will distribute more cash flow throughout the 10 years and hence will have lower DMT. For the third part, we have 15 years after issue, immediately after the coupon payments then due, the company defaults on the 25-year bond. Bondholders are unable to sell their holdings as the bond were privately issued, so there is no liquid secondary market. The company offers two options to the holders of the 25-year bond. Option 1, the term of the bond remains at the original 25 terms, that means 10 years are left. No further coupons will be paid and the bond will be redeemed at 105%. Option 2, coupons will be immediately reduced to 1.25% per annum and the term of the bonds will be extended by 5 years. That means in total we'll have 15 more years. As the result of the default, bondholders expect a 0.5% risk premium over the spot rate currently used, which are set out in the worksheet question 3 base. Calculate the present value of the defaulted bonds under both options at time 15. So when they say we have to add a risk premium of 0.5%, the spot rate that is given, we'll add a 0.5% over it. And B part is just to determine which option bond holders should choose. So in part 3, they have given us the spot rate. We'll have to add up the risk rate to it. I'll just write rate and we'll have the value plus 0.005, that is 0.5%. So this is going for 15 years. So we'll need the discounting factor and we need to calculate the present values for both of these options. So we'll take the new rate where we have added the 0.5% for discounting factor. Then in option 1, the cash flow is only at time 10 and that is 105. Present value would be this to the discounting factor. And for cash flow 2, the coupons were reduced to 1.25%. So 1.25 by 2. This would go for 14.5 years. And at time 15 would be the last coupon plus 100 as redemption. Present value for the A part, we'll write the present values. And B part, we'll have to write the conclusion, which option is better. So here present value So clearly option B has a higher present value. So write that. So option 2 has a higher present value. Option 2 should be chosen. Fourth part, calculate the duration of the bond at time 15 under the original conditions and under each option 1 and 2. So we have to calculate for the original conditions, that 25-year bond, and this option 1 and 2. So part 4 is blank. I will copy this and I'll paste it in the correct place. Don't need this. You want to make TCT v raised to t. Same thing here. This is the numerator of the duration. Although for this you don't need to, but it's fine, we'll just do it. Present value into time. Present value into time. And for duration, I'll write it on the side here, but first we want the original condition. For that, the discounting factor would be different. It would use the original spot rate, not the increased spot rate. The cash flow that we had in the original one, we had 1.75% and we had 10 more years left. The present value would be according to the discounting factor here, original conditions. And this also present value into the time. Add them up. We want the DMT or the duration. Option 1, it will be 10 years because there's no other cash flow. Then option 2, we have 13.6, and in option 3 or original, we have 9.21. So many bondholders decide to select the other option that the one determined in part 3b. Suggest what other considerations may have driven their decision. So we'll say the difference in present value is not large, hence the profit in choosing option 2 is very low. Second point is the duration of option 1 is less than option 2, and considering the risk factor, people may choose duration over higher present value. The third, the duration of option 2 is very close to the duration in original condition, making it a better choice for people with liabilities at that time. These are the three factors that I feel are important. There may be more. That ends our paper here. Overall, the paper was very straightforward. There were not many complications in the questions. Yes, there were many points where we might have made mistakes, especially in question 1. But otherwise, question 2 and question 3 seem to be very straightforward. Looking at paper A as well as paper B, I feel the passing mark may be on the higher side, maybe around 56 to 58. And I hope you are comfortably over that point. If you find any mistake, please write that in the comment. And do tell me whether this was helpful or not. Do like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.